Now, around the world, more than 160 million children are trapped in child labour, their health and safety at risk. In Asia, the problem is the worst, with nearly 10% of its child population working in extreme conditions. But the United Nations International Labour Programme is set on bringing those numbers down. This summer, they partnered with a team of musicians, including Mike Einziger of Incubus and Pharrell Williams, to record the song Till Everyone Can See and an accompanying music video to highlight this important issue. I'm pleased to say that we're joined now by one of the men behind the music, Mike Einziger, and Esther Mohanja Sichani, a former child labourer in Kenya, along with Bernard Kiura, National Project Coordinator for the ILO in Kenya. And we also have on the phone Corinne Vargha of the International Labour Organization. So first of all, thank you all so much for joining us today on HuffPost Live. And Mike, I want to start with you if I can. So tell us what inspired you to write this song and why you felt so attached to this particular cause.
Well, the song was a huge challenge to write the song, actually, because it's a really difficult subject matter to get into lyrically and also just musically. It's complicated, you know, like you want people to listen to the song, but you also want to lift people's spirits at the same time. So it's just a really big challenge. And I have some friends, others that took part in creating the song. Anne Marie, Hans, we all know different people in various situations relating to labor, like really poor situations, bad situations that really affect people. And it's just it's the thing that we can do as musicians is write music. You know, that's what we know how to do to lift people's spirits and raise awareness of problems in the world. And we might not necessarily be the best spokespeople, but we do what we can by writing songs. You know, so that's how we got into working with the ILO.
Well, Corinne, I mean, obviously we mentioned some stats at the top. Can you paint a picture for us of just how prolific this issue is around the world? And also just give us a bit of a definition of child labour in general. I mean, how do you guys define child labour?
Okay, let me perhaps start by taking this opportunity to thank Mike and all his friends that wrote up this song. It's really showing and sending a fantastic signal that child labor is a global problem and that each one of us are concerned with the problem, and each one of us, you know, in our own sphere of action can do something about it. So thanks again, Mike, for having taken your time to contribute to that cause. Now, as we speak, there are 168 million children working all over the world, out of which half of them are working in the worst forms of child labor, those that bear no excuse, actually. And here we're talking about kids that are trapped into prostitution. We are talking about kids that are being sold or are being trafficked or being used as child soldiers. But we're also talking about the many of them that are working in really hazardous conditions that are harmful for their development, be them mental development or also their physical development. So meaning that it's going to have very negative impact into these kids' future as adults. So these are the trends. But there are nevertheless, some good news is we've seen a very sharp decrease in child labor all over the world over a period ranging from 2008 to 2012. So it's just telling us that, yes, we know now what's working and what kind of policy program and action needs to be put in motion to reduce and combat that phenomenon. So now we know what's working, and we have absolutely no excuse to step up our efforts, actually, to reach this global target of eliminating child labor everywhere in the world.
Well, Esther, I want to come to you because, first of all, it's just so great to have you with us. Can you share us your story? I mean, how did you find yourself working as a domestic worker at the age of 16?
Okay, thank you. Before I started working as a domestic domestic work, I was at school by then in Form 2, where I was staying with my mother. My parents separated. So the fee became a problem to my mom. So she had to talk to my uncle so that he can assist me with the fee. From there, I came with my uncle where he assist me go back to school. Then when we reached here in Nairobi, he told me to work so that I can raise money for me to be able to go back to school. So I started working as a house girl, whereby the job was very hard for me by then because I was young. I felt like life was against me because I was doing a lot than I expected. Then afterwards, I got a neighbor to where I was working. He introduced me to ILO, this organization that gave me training about beauty and hairdressing. They trained me for 6 months. Afterwards, they also trained me about a business management, where they gave us skills on how one can run his or her own business.
So Esther, how do you feel now? Because you just told me that you felt that life was against you. So how do you feel today?
Today I feel good because I can do what I want on my own. Because by then I've got my own salon that assists me in each and everything. It supports me great because it enables me in daily life.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much, Mike, Esther and Corinne, for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure, and Esther, especially to hear your story, is certainly very positive. It's a really great piece of news, really, in what's been a really miserable news day. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. And guys, if you want to help out a little bit more, find out more about the organisation, you can do. The links are all in the resource well below this player. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me today on HuffPost Live.
Thank you.